So since this is going to be my first analysis video, we're going to first watch through this and go through this from the Blade Master's point of view, then we're going to rewind and go through it again from the first point of view. Be a lot of pausing, unpausing, and possibly rewinding to pick things back up. Chat's pretty dead right now, but as chat questions come up, you'll see them in the top, that direction. And I'll answer them and try to go over things if they come up. So like I said, first we're going to go with blue, then we're going to go with red. Just going to try to keep that uniform throughout all the videos. Happens to be that blue this time is Blade Master, so we're going to go with that one first. We're going to go through all three matches. We're going to be jumping around, obviously to skip the in-between time and everything. But we're going to go through all three. Or if they go to 5, we're going to go through all the matches first, and then we're going to go back and go through them from the other player's point of view. So this is eyebrows. So I don't know how common it is at their level, but I know that one of the things that a lot of throwers like to do is they like to do the jump stomp that pulls people in with a, I don't know what it's called, but it's just jump stomp that pulls you in for their opener. It's what they can do when before they actually get in combat and everything like that. Or they'll do the pull right off the bat. The pull can't be, their pull can be spec'd to where it cannot be blocked or parried or anything like that. You need to iframe it. So eyebrows off the bat, popped his iframes from his Hong Moon block to avoid the opener there. Got a block off, went for the Cyclone the whirling slash, the LB you get after you block. It literally interrupts basically everything, including the fire spin from destroyers. It does mini stuns and knocks you back a little bit. It's kind of like martial dance for AFMs, but it's a little better, I think. He QEs around, trying to bait out anything. He SS's because after that it's natural just to go away because you want to block after that because you're expecting them to try to do something. If you're blocking and you're in close to them, they can grapple you. If you're blocking far away, you pretty much avoid everything except for, like I said, the pull, which is what the guy responded with. Looks like he got off his Hong Moon Z though, which pulled in there, so that nullified the Destroyer's pull. And I'm pretty sure, and we're gonna actually check here, that I know for a fact that the Hong Moon pull is a minute cooldown if it's a stun, and a 30-second cooldown if it's a stays. I don't think the pull for... I'm pretty sure the pull for... No, we're looking at 3? It's one of these abilities. I know it's a spec off of something. I think it's a spec off of their X. That one. Not that one. There we go. Penetrates, deflect. Okay, there's a 30-second cooldown regardless of the spec. I can daze for... Okay. Can either go for an AoE on the target, just have a single target one. Daze has a 30-second cooldown, penetrates, deflect. I know the Blade Master one is either a 24-second day, or 24-second cooldown, second cooldown daze, or a 1-minute cooldown stun. Based on when he uses it again, we'll find out, but I know both of the Hong Moon abilities put you into draw stance. But either way, it looks like he got the Destroyer's tab out of that, so it might open up it opens up a combo possibility here. Knockdown doesn't use anything. Breaks the grapple immediately because grapple is bad news in general. They drop you down and they can get a good stun out of it if they force you to roll. Or if you happen to mistime it, which is very unlikely at this level, they can get the air combo off, which negates all of your defensive abilities like block and such. QE, SS is the natural response to that. Again, because once you do those two, you kind of have no more evasion for a little while. Looks like there was a attempt to stomp, but didn't come out of anything. Come out of it. Got a catch with 5-point strike. The Destroyer's tab is down, but not his F, so he can actually do a tech chase here. The Destroyer also has his ground counter up, so for options that the Blade Master has, once he lands, he can try to, if he waits, he's in a good position either way. He can either kick the block, or kick the counter, or try to get a tech chase off. Both of which are going to be pretty decent damage. So he didn't even wait for that. He got the Full Moon Strike on the drop. Full Moon Strike can be... Full Moon Strike is one of those abilities that, because it's instant cast, you can use it before they actually hit the ground and it still affects them. It's also used when you're using your Heaven's Blade combo, which is your V with the long cooldown V with the 5 strikes after, or the strikes after 5 seconds, because what it does is, on the cases of things like KFMs and Assassins, less so those two, but for every other class, when you daze them on the ground, it prevents them from doing their ground counters. That is not the case for Assassins, and that is not the case for KFMs. They can both do theirs during or afterwards. And if they do theirs before you do your Full Moon Slash, they will both actually get the counter off. But against other things, that works. Blue Rage forced there. That's another victory. He still got time between now and when the tab comes up to try to get some more damage off here. Try to get another long combo, or try to get a long combo, I should say. He avoids Flame... It's called Flame Wheel. I don't have a good name for it, but basically it's a series of iframes that do a little bit of damage, and then, if set up correctly, you can actually use it to do a straight knock-up for the air combo. You don't need to have any other setup for it. And both of those moves out of it iframe. So it's pretty nice to avoid there. Oh, looks like he got kick stunned. So he rolls out, kick dazed. He actually burnt all of his escapes there in a very short period of time. He got dazed. He got dazed and then caught with the second one and immediately tabbed out. So he has no escapes here. It's really dangerous. I think he underestimated what could have happened there. Fire spin comes in. So he got the kick down. Looks like rolls used immediately. There's a good tech chase opportunity here. Even though he's facing the wrong way, it wouldn't be hard for him to do like a flick of the wrist and charge. Although he used charge, so he'd need to use like a C, which would turn into a hard stun here because the F roll is down. And that would give him a few hits here for a combo, but nothing too amazing. So he didn't do the tech chase, and he just kind of let him stand up after that because he didn't do the flicker or whatever. But now the Destroyer has both of his escapes up, so this isn't actually looking so good for the Blade Master, who's sitting on just a daze escape. I would say that I feel like he should be trying to push the issue, but actually he really could, because the Destroyer's rage is down, so he's not going to die instantly. Destroyer has his CCs up, or his CC breaks up. He has his tab, he has his F roll, but I feel like the Blade Master needs to make something happen here. Although at the same time, he also wants to wait, especially because this is a tournament game. He wants to wait and be safe. So he wants to wait for his own tab escape unless he can find a really good catch. There go the iframes now. With the iframes up, there's really no reason, in my opinion, that he shouldn't be going for like a kick or a 3 or something to try to get the F roll out of the Destroyer, or something that he can use to try to get a catch and force the tab out as well. I feel like, personally, as a third-party viewer here, that sitting there with iframes up and blocking, not beneficial. He has his tab coming up now, so he doesn't have to worry about getting killed here. Even then, the Destroyer doesn't have his rage up, so it's gonna be, there could be a good bit of damage, but nothing out of the nothing deadly. QEs, the SS's, avoids the knockup. He has his tab and his F. I don't know if he has his X up because I wasn't watching his abilities really close enough, but I still feel like he should be trying to do something here. Because now that he has all of his stuff up, he even has his grapple up, so he can go aggressive and even block right in the Destroyer's face. As soon as he gets grappled, he can break it and use that for additional additional damage, since I don't think he actually runs C days versus just. They got the pull off. F roll out. There could be a tech chase here. I would hope there's a tech chase here. No tech chase, but he instead gets the flicker stun. So that's good. I think this is gonna force the tab. Oh, actually, it doesn't really need to because the Destroyer has full health. He has his Blue Rage coming up, so he's not gonna die to this. But this could be a. Oh. Farther ahead from where we were. Okay, here's where we're at. Pull, flicker stun, goes in for the combo. I don't think the Destroyer needs to tab this, but he can opt to if he has an aggressive option. Try to get a more counter pressure off. Because if he tabs this, there'll be a daze, assuming he's spec for it like most people, and then he can get a tech chase if the Blade Master rolls, which I'm pretty sure he would reactively. Not saying he will 100%, because he actually, with the Hong Moon block, they still have Blade Masters have Perseverance and their counter. These two options to do instead of actually rolling. So he doesn't tab out. Here's the combo. He lands, daze, and do a immediate knockup as opposed to trying to get any extra damage in there. Second air combo. Pretty much just chip damage. Grapple was used. Grapple break was used. Looks like he put down his C. Didn't daze. Well, even if it would have, it's part of the reason you don't run C stun against Destroyers too much is because their spin avoids it. So he has the daze here. I can guarantee that now because he used it to open up the last combo, and he used it again here. So he has the Hong Moon daze, which is down the right tree. It's a straight one down. It's a 24-second cooldown. He'll put you in draw stance, but that's just something to note for the future matches that is something that can be rolled out of if it's in an odd scenario. So the during your Soul Blade stance, your X immunes you from range attacks. The Destroyer's pull penetrates, deflects, and parries and such, but it got knocked away by that anyway. So decent catch by the Destroyer. Rage is available, so Blade Master shouldn't really tab unless they see the Rage come out. Tab's there. The only thing available for the Destroyer is the roll. There's the roll, no tech chase. Flame Wheel comes out. Sorry, the Flame Spin. Another slight air combo here. Air combo is definitely being used for good chip damage. Blade Master's out of escapes. Time is low. I actually think the Destroyer has done more damage than the Blade Master. So he either needs to like take this as a loss and just deal with it, or he needs to try to go like ridiculously aggressive right here. Chain. Not gonna kill him, I don't think. Not enough CC for that, but tabs as soon as he gets it up. I think the combo was basically over at that point, and that tab was kind of wasted. And I would argue that maybe he did that to try to get some counter pressure off, but then he immediately went into his Hong Moon 1 and just kind of sat there and blocked, which is still a strategy I don't understand doing. I feel like it doesn't really make use of the Hong Moon, of the iframes you get from that ability as well as you could. Sometimes it's obviously great if you're using it to like immune something like another Blade Master's pull, penetrates parry and block. That's absolutely fine. But when you use it there and then just kind of block anyway, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary and redundant. Time's gonna run out, and I'm pretty sure the Destroyer wins this one, based on damage done. I've seen the 10% heal used by the Blade Master like 4 times. The Destroyer's shield hasn't been up too much. We're just gonna see who does damage here, and we're gonna skip to the next one. Yeah, it was the Destroyer. Blaze. Alright. So he did the Hongmoon. He did the Hongmoon block again in the beginning in opener to avoid the pull from the Destroyer. I like that. I like that a lot, because even if you're flying, like if you go for a jump and a glide, the stomp they do will pull you out of the air. So I definitely like the use of the iframes in the beginning there to avoid that. There's a blocking game that I don't really agree with. I was just trying to see what happened there. C came out again after this whole blade stance. Kick stun came out, or sorry, the knee came out from the Destroyer, and Blade Master literally blew everything already, which I think was definitely a little quick to blow everything for sure. Z-pull comes out. Doesn't get a follow-up off of it. Looks like he tried to 2-stun, but because he got put into draw stance, it really didn't do anything. I don't know how the daze was avoided, to be completely honest. Unless he's not running with the daze, which would be quite awkward, because I've seen him playing since then. He runs daze versus the Destroyers. But if he's not running the daze, which it appears like he has been, considering he's been going into draw stance, actually has to be running the daze, and has to have been immune somehow, because the daze pull would have pulled the Destroyer to him, and the 2 would have extended it, forcing a rollout or something of that sort. If he didn't have that one, he would have done the Z pull into a regular charge, which would have done a full stun there and tab out or something, in theory at least. So it had to have been the Z pull into extension from draw stance, and I think that was just a misplay. So he actually did the draw stance 2 and then a regular 2, and managed to get nothing off of both of them. I don't know what the cause of that was. I didn't see any iframes coming out from the Destroyer. Probably just used them a little too quick. Maybe cancel one of them. Definitely looked like a misplay. Uses the roll, doesn't get punished for it, gets knocked down though. Stand up, that's good. The Z pulls immune by the flame wheel. Sends him in the corner, forces the blue rage, okay. One thing I don't like about Cyclone is when you're using it, if you use it immediately after a stun, you have one global afterward to do anything. Like if you use the charge stun, like 2, and then you were to do Cyclone or Spiral Slash, whatever it's called, whatever you want to call it for your server, it takes so long that you have to do an immediate CC follow-up or a knock-up or anything else that you have left over in that next instant afterwards, because just how long the animation of that takes. That always catches me off guard a little bit, because I'm so used to having, on North America and Europe, at least on the builds we're running, we always run the parry, because it's just the only good one we have. On Rhea, they have access to Hongmoon skills, and on other regions, they have access to Hongmoon skills. So he's running the far right tree, and abilities that pierce, parry, and deflect, like the Assassin's positional swap, the Destroyers. The Destroyers pull in there. They don't pierce that because there's no parry attached to it. There's no deflect attached to it. It's just this flat block. So when I watched them block it there for a second, I'm like, how did that happen? And I'm like, wait a minute. They're not on... They have a better build than we do. Breaks out of it immediately, gets hit by the C of the Destroyer, which knocks him up. Gets the knockdown. There's a roll that happens. There was an opportunity for a chase there. Even if... I'm pretty sure he has his... Oh no, he used it. Yeah, he used his 2-stun in basic stance, so actually it's not up yet. It's not available. There was no chance to chase. I was gonna say there was definitely a chance to chase there, but I am mistaken. Gets the kick, tabs out of the kick. So right now there's a really good opportunity for a combo. If anything, he could do like a Q and a flicker. Or... A Q and a flicker would definitely be the fastest way to get a stun off right now, since assuming he doesn't have his 2 charge stun on basic stance. Because it would 180 him, it would go 180 around him. Would put him in basic blade or draw stance, so he'd have all of the RBs and everything available. The draw stance 2 that extends CC by 2 seconds, or resets the duration 2 seconds, has a much shorter cooldown than charge stun in basic stance. So that one is, I guarantee that one's up right now. So that would be good for chi regen, not at full chi right now. He would go to Q. Let's see, he'd go to basic or go to draw stance with the Q. So he'd be over here. Do LB, that would be this one. RB would take these 3, and he'd have 2 left. He could go 2, would put him up to here. Give him another 2. RB would put him at 1. Then he'd go E, and immediately... Depends on what C he's running, actually. I haven't really paid attention to what version of C he's running. But after extending, if he has the C ability, the shoulder charge that gives him chi back, he could go do that. The flicker stun, the RB extension, and then do an RB and go E and then daze him again to get 4 chi back. He doesn't have that. He could go for the flicker stun, the RB, the 2 extension, and then go back into basic stance, get an LB off, and then tab stun or tab full moon slash to extend it. Because he also knows that these were both burned really quick, really recently, so he should know they're both down. He opts for the Z pull instead. I think that actually gives him cheese. It's a much better decision than one I had, considering it also should daze him with the Hongmoon ability. There comes the combo. The 2 extension. I'm waiting to see a tab stun here, because he likes to use tab stun a lot, and it's really good, and he has the chi for it. He got his regular charge stun up. I feel like he still has tab stun. Although, to be fair, tab's actually a daze. And it is a daze, and this is coming back up, so it's actually just good enough to realize that he doesn't have time to do that and goes for the air combo. Shield up for the Destroyer. Pretty sure you can try to kick that, but at the same time, as he runs in and doesn't react fast enough, he's going to get stunned by the shield. Goes to SS around it. I still don't understand why they do this, and it bothers me. The block with Hongmoon skills, with the Hongmoon invasion on. I can understand, perhaps, if you're trying to preserve the Hongmoon iframes themselves, but at the same time, you'd just have gotten range as opposed to using the Hongmoon iframes, because he hasn't really tried to do anything that, penetrates block or parry or anything. We could have just blocked, could have just gotten range. I don't understand why they do this, and it bothers me still. Another thing you'll commonly see Korean Blade Masters do is they kind of sit in that flame spin, and I don't know why they do that either. I don't know what their strategy for that is. Obviously, since so many of them do it, they have a reason for it. Just not quite sure I grasp it. So as opposed to going for any other ground combos here, gets the Z pull for the days, and then immediately goes into the 5-point strike for the knock-up. But it looks like he canceled it. I don't know if that was intentional or accidental, but he went for 5-point strike, which was actually no reason to use. So it had to have been accidental and a mistake, and he just reacted too fast because Z pull dazes, the first hit of 5-point strike should in theory knock somebody up. It didn't do that, and then he canceled it immediately after, so I'm assuming he was hoping the first hit would have knocked him up like it should have, but it hit while he was still in transition, like while he was still moving, as opposed to before he landed and actually had the daze effect on him and was wasted. That's a bit of a misplay, and unfortunate. Tech chases too early, just gets it immune. He's not happy about that. Rolls right into the stun, manages to avoid the stomp, but he's out of escapes now. That actually would have been a combo for the kill, but time ran out. That combo really would have, with Lightning Drop, that combo would absolutely have killed the Destroyer. But he did it way too late, and the Destroyer won on damage for time. This is a replay. We're gonna see if he does the Hong Moon off the start again. He actually mixed it up this time and went for the pull himself. They went for the pull into Lightning Draw. The reason that works so well for them is because obviously Lightning Draw does damage targets that are stunned, dazed. Soft CC that isn't knockdown, they take additional damage from. The Hong Moon Z puts them in daze, and it puts you in draw stance. Doesn't really matter that put you in draw stance for this situation, because you can cast Lightning Draw in both basic and draw stance, but noteworthy. So he got the tab out and then immediately charge stunned with 2. So this Destroyer is literally out of CC right now, or out of escapes right now. So if he can get into another decent combo here, which he has, based off of what he's used, he still has Flicker Stun, he still has his C Stun, still has Tab Stun, still has 5-point strike. So he could, for example, like, Q around him and Flicker. He could 5-point strike into anything. There's a lot of options to get a nice big combo off here, now that he has both of those down in such a short period of time, and he's only used 2 CCs of his own, and 1 offensive ability. Breaks out of the grapple, so he is running the daze, that's odd. Not something you commonly run, but I suppose they have so many points between their Hong Moon levels and being level 50 that they have the points to run it. That's gonna get him a nice combo here, because since he's using that, he can put his V up next, will give him nearly endless chi and go for a huge combo. So he doesn't opt to use his V, he uses straight for the stun. Looks like he was worried about the CC wearing off, but he forces out the Blue Rage here. So overall, that was a win. Charge, the shoulder charge is a shorter cooldown, obviously, than... I guess I can't really say that. I was going to originally say that the shoulder stun has a shorter cooldown than the V ability from your Hong Moon stance, but while that's not necessarily true on a cooldown basis, you have a 1-minute cooldown on the Hong Moon, or on the V skill itself as a Blade Master. So, opting to go for that definitely kept him from dropping this combo and forced out the C, but I don't know, it was just weird and I almost misspoke, I had to correct myself. There are the iframes again where he's just sitting there blocking. I don't know why they do this. So many of them do it, so there's gotta be a reason for it. It's just awkward and I don't understand it. Catches him with a 5-point strike. This is the opportunity for a decent combo. His charge stun is not up yet, but it should be up in like the next 10 seconds. Which is a big window, obviously, but he has enough CC between his tab and draw stance to actually wait for that. D pull, RB, goes into basic stance, there's the charge stun. F rolls up. I don't think he actually has any more dazes anyway. so that doesn't matter to him. Giant combo coming in here. Roll is used immediately. Gets the kick, and I don't know why he tabbed out of that. Because assuming he hits the ground. He's already been kicked, so if he goes for the counter, he's not going to get stunned. Because the kick has already happened. And once he gets on the ground, there's a whole bunch of mind games that can happen with timing, especially because the Blade Master doesn't have the kick. It's dangerous for the Blade Master to really do anything because he could attack right into the counter. There's the iframes again. He goes for the pull, but throws it right into the flame wheel, or the fire spin, whatever you want to call it, which literally does nothing. I still don't understand this move either. This is another one of the things they do I don't understand. And I know I've said it like at least 3 times already. I don't get what the benefit of it is. I suppose on one hand you're kind of letting them burn their own chi, but all depends on if that's actually worth it or not. Charge stun into 5 point into a knockup. Looks like he went for the flicker stun there, and he actually miscounted the cooldown because he should have out of the tab. He went for the flicker stun and hit it, and it did damage and everything. It just didn't seem to actually stun. So I'm assuming that he went on instinct that this is the next stun that I have, and it wasn't actually off cooldown yet. Kick into Cyclone Slash that actually stuns you on the ground essentially. It's like a mini stun because the Cyclone Slash itself, like, it basically interrupts almost everything. It's really weird ability. It interrupts literally everything. If you're blocking, it'll still interrupt you a little bit. It's quite odd. Like, if you don't block every hit of it, it'll still mini stun you. And it's not a stun you can tab out of, it's not a stun you can roll out of, it's just very interesting stun. It doesn't allow any abilities that require stun effects to have any additional effect on them. It's like a mini stun. It's its own thing. Very weird. So 2 charge on the ground allows him to do a knockup. Air combo. Gets the pull off and then goes for the iframes. Not sure what he was too worried about there on the pull. I suppose he could have been. Suppose off the pull he could have been kneed, he could have been... No, I think the knee was really the only thing he had to worry about there, because the shield was used. None of their CCs are like instant hard CCs. Yeah, he was worried about the knee, I guess. But even that seems like a... He has his tab up? If he had his tab, the knee wouldn't have been a big deal. Yeah, he has his tab up. Oh, okay, so if he gets kneed, and then he goes for his tab, Troy can respond with his tab, and then what would have been a kill would not have been a kill. So, that makes sense to me. Skip to the next match. Our next set. Iframes on the opener. I still really like that against Destroyers, considering both their jump pull and their pull itself are annoying to avoid. So, Blue Rage comes out off of the daze. Really nice damage out. I like that he doesn't actually tab out of that, because if he tabs out of it, then comes out like the fire spin or some other iframe, just to wait out his iframes, and then comes another whole CC train. They wait for the grapple, which I think might actually have been a mistake. We'll go over that, like I said, more in depth on the Destroyer side of this video. Probably be its own video, considering it's actually running a lot longer than I thought. And basically gets out of all that CC for its own cooldown as opposed to burning either of his breaks. So he caught that and forced the tab out. That was nice. Got CC'd like by the Destroyer's 4 there. Tabs out. Literally gives himself a free there. Used his 2 charge, it looks like. So that means that he has for this, he has a C stun, he has his tab stun, and he has his draw stance 2. So there could be a small combo coming in here. Possibly more RBs. Oh, he still had Heaven's Blade active. That's a much different combo. And it's a much longer combo. He didn't use his tab stun, which he could have used there instead of the kick. Although, looking at it from this point of view, the F roll is up, so if he used the tab as opposed to just kicking him there, that would have gotten the F roll out, but it would have been a waste of his 45-second cooldown. So not using the tab there was actually the correct call, despite my first impression. Doesn't have an escape up here. Uses the iframes, his Hongwen ability. Gets the catch, forces the tab. So he used his charge stun and his Z there. Should have most of his stuff. There's the C stun. Forces the Blue Rage, so what does he have left for available CC for after this Blue Rage wears off? He has tab stun still. He doesn't actually have flicker, I don't think, because he used it in the last combo. Tab stun, and he has this 2 extension. It's enough to CC to do much damage right now. Needs to wait on not Heaven's Blade, on his lightning draw. But gets the days off of his C from his Soul Blade. That's good. Leads into a Z pull, and then instead of trying to use his tab stun or anything, he just closes out his combo with an air combo. Looks like he's gonna get the kill off of it. He immunes that. Even though he can block it, he immunes it. Gives him a nice heal as well. He's not too worried about the he's not too worried about the Destroyer healing up. That's the more standard response I expect from somebody who do, like, when they run into a fire spin, or when a fire spin's on top of them, is to, like, either SS or QE reposition and then SS. Just get away from it as opposed to trying to block. I don't know why, I still don't understand why their preferred response is to use their iframes there. Like, there's better chances to use it, but at the same time, there's not too many abilities the Destroyer can use after the opener, which really pierce your CC, or pierce your defenses. Because I guess their pull only goes through your block. Only goes through the parry portion of the block if you have it, so it's only the first 0.5 seconds. The rest of the CC can be blocked, except for the grapple. Requires you to be blocking or CC'd. Perhaps they use it there because it's one of the better places to use it then, because there's not too many other things that you can use to immune that would get the benefit of them. Because there's not too many CCs the Destroyer has that, like I said, there's not too many to have that ignore your block or your deflect. And if you're running the Hongwen ability anyway, you don't have the deflect, you just have the block. I guess that's not a terrible idea. And then while you're sitting there and they're spinning, they can either choose to waste more chi spin on you, or they can stop and waste their cooldown. I guess it's not actually a terrible idea, now that I'm thinking about it that way. Makes a lot more sense thinking about it that way. Especially because once the Destroyer's out of chi, they can't spin and they're really, really vulnerable to combos. That makes sense then. Okay. It's actually a very good reason. Air combo for the kill here. Today I learned, boys. Today we learned. Last set. And we're gonna go make a separate video for the Destroyer side of this because it's fucking long as hell. Especially with all the pausing. There's the iframe opener again that I like so much. It's Blu-ray to the pull. So just to restate, if in case I forgot too early or whatever, the reason you break out of the grip immediately is because that way you get your Soul Blade up again immediately. Just get your Soul Blade up again as fast as possible. You deny them free damage and chi regen, you deny them slight bit of health regen, and the only things that are going to come out of being grappled are either going to get dropped, and you're going to have to either burn some one of your ground CD or a roll to get out of it, and they can tech chase you. Because, I don't know how widely known this is, how many people actually play against Destroyer enough or realize that this is hard, like its own CC. Similarly to how Cyclone CC is its own little mini stun, where you can't tab out of it, you can't do anything, but you are CC'd, you are stunned. When you are dropped by a Destroyer, as opposed to having them do anything to, like, you know, them throw you or throw you up, throw you down, anything, when you're just dropped by them, you're stunned for a second in front of them, and that gives them literally some free time to drop a whole another CC on you before you have a chance to roll out or anything. So that basically allows them to get into a free combo, which, depending on if they're running Red Rage or not, could force out a tab that you don't want to do. It's easier just to blow your V escape immediately when they grapple you. Which is also why, unless they have the iframes up, you don't see Destroyer, or you don't see Blade Masters block in melee range with Destroyers pretty much ever. So he'd used his heal already, so he didn't have it up to immune that flame spin. Gets the catch with 5-point strike. I'll mention, actually bring it back up for a second here. I'll mention that before the 5-point strike happens, Destroyer literally has no chi to spin. Meaning any CC that Blade Master has will hit, it will land, because without chi, Destroyer has no defensive ability. They don't. They need chi to spin. When they're spinning, they're immune to CC. That's nice. But without chi, they can't spin, they're not immune to CC, and they have no defensive ability then. Like, for example, KFMs can parry, or they have their counter. Blade Masters have block. Destroyers do not. So, Destroyer's out of chi here, has no way to avoid CC unless he gets a catch on the Blade Master with his charge, his pull, or something. He has no defensive option right now to avoid CC. He has to go offensive to avoid CC. He has to apply pressure to avoid CC right now. So, he just gets caught out, tries to SS, doesn't manage to immune the 5-point straight because the Blade Master holds it, and then he gets caught here with literally no way to get out of a CC. It was an air combo. I feel like that's actually more important than it is I feel like that's actually a really important way to look at it, as opposed to just seeing at the top, because a lot of people say, and I do as well, that Destroyers just kind of spin, and they never stop spinning. But when they don't have chi, they can't spin, and then they're completely vulnerable to CC without any real answer other than their breaks. They can try to iframe it, obviously, like everybody can in this game, but they don't have like a net fallback like Blade Masters can block, like I said, like anything like that. Good pickup there. Destroyer looks like he might have actually given up by now. Just the roll and tab against one CC. Air combo for the kill, and the Blade Master makes a comeback. So, things we learned. We learned that using the Hongmoon 1, the Hongmoon block ability off of the opener denies a lot of the destroyer's opening pressure. We learned that the reason Blade Masters use their Hongmoon 1 and sit in a Flame Wheel or Flame Spin is to burn chi from the destroyer. And eyebrows. Eyebrows gasm. And we learned that the reason that number 2 is so important is because when you burn chi from a destroyer, they don't have any real defensive abilities. They can't really react to your CCs. Like you can charge stun them, you can shoulder stun them, and they really don't have any answer to that unless they have chi to try to spin. If they're spinning, obviously they can immune it, but if they're out of chi, they're just kind of there waiting for you to get a combo opener. So, next video is going to be the same match from the opposite point of view, from the destroyer's point of view, and we'll go over what the destroyer can do, could have done better, and all that such.